Hey, this is Chris, and today I want to talk to you about the butt system. Specifically, if you're a real professional, like a business owner or a professional in your field, basically someone who's a real doer, you don't have a problem rolling up your sleeves and getting it done. Because that question's come up a lot lately from professionals that say, you know what, I've got knowledge, I've got experience, I've got skills. I can focus myself and get things done. So this whole idea about the butt system, I just can't really wrap my mind around it. And I just don't trust that it's going to work, especially when I know that I can do it just by throwing myself into the project. So this is what I want to address today. And also it brings up a very important thing for all releasers here, is that doing the butt system isn't a means of escaping working. See, that was my attitude. I had a big aversion to work, and I didn't like it. I used to procrastinate, I used to escape. And to me, the butt system seemed like a really good idea. It's like, okay, I could do that and avoid having to do this thing I don't like. Well, it doesn't work that way. You see, coming from that position, I wasn't coming from the attitude of imperturbability. I wasn't okay with working. And therefore, I didn't get all the results from releasing. Now, the butt system is very, very simple. You sit on your rear end, just release. Release all of your I can'ts, all of your mental obstacles, all of your negative feelings. And what that leaves you in is a powerfully positive place with a quiet mind, where you could just hold in mind the end result of what it is that you look to achieve. And it happens like that. It literally falls into your lap. But you gotta come from the place where it's okay to do work. It's okay to roll up your sleeves. You're willing to do it anyway. You're willing to get it done. It's okay if you do the work. It's okay if you don't do the work. You see, ultimately, that's all the stuff that you're releasing when you're doing the butt system. And what I really want to focus in on today is that the butt system isn't a black or white thing. It isn't one or the other. You don't have to force yourself to do absolutely nothing to get results, although that's a really good way to do it. You can do it gradually. So I want to show you some simple steps and some hints so you can apply it. And you can actually start utilizing the butt system even as you're taking action, even as you're just jumping into doing things, releasing while you're doing it, so that the actions that you are taking, what you are doing, it gets easier and easier and easier. And as you continue release, it continues to get easier. And then, before you know it, you see things start happening instantly. And then that's pretty cool, because then you've got that evidence. You've got that evidence in your back pocket, and you know, okay, you know what? I'm encouraged now to just sit and do nothing and dump all of my negativity. And that's when you really make a giant leap forward. So let's take a look at it. All right, so first of all, let's just handle this issue of work and effort. Because even if you are a big doer, see, part of you likes doing the work, part of you doesn't like it so much. And you can especially see this if there are certain things that you do that take effort, that have bumps, that have problems and so on. See, if you've got problems and you got effort, challenges, see, that's part of you that doesn't like it, that's pushing it away. It's your own resistance that's creating that effort. So take a look to see if you've got any resistance right now to any of the work that you're doing. And just welcome up this resistance. And feel this resistance. Measure your resistance now on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being the most resistant, 0 being the least resistant. And just see where you're at. Now, wherever that resistance is, if it's a 3, a 7, or a 10, even an 18, whatever it is, could you just say yes to that resistance so you can let that resistance leave? And could you say yes to that resistance some more so you can let it leave? And could you say yes to it even more so you can let it go? And could you say yes to it even more? And even more. And even more. And could you say yes to the resistance even more? And it's just a feeling, that's all it is. Could you say yes to it? And could you say yes to it even more? Now notice if you feel lighter, or if you move down on that scale of 0 to 10. Just see where you're at now. Now chances are you've moved a little bit, which means you've got some energy flowing. You've got some momentum rolling now. So let's capitalize on this momentum. Let go of pushing down on the rest of that resistance. Just let it all up. Just let it all come up. So you got the energy flowing. Let it just follow the flow. And let that remaining resistance go. And let it go even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And just let it all leave. Just drop all that resistance. See, even if you have to do everything, it doesn't help you to have resistance. It's like creating mental red tape for yourself that you're having to fight through just to get things done that are right in front of you. Let go of the resistance. Allow it to be easier. And a lot of that resistance, you see, it's mental. Judgments about it. Dislike, disapproval of yourself or what it is that you have to do. And that's just noise in your head. Could you let that noise go? After all, it belongs to you, doesn't it? So could you let it go? And even more. And just let that noise go quiet. Now take a look to see if you're disapproving of the work that you have to do. You don't like it. Well, you're having to do it anyway, right? So how does it help you to disapprove of it? Does that help you get it done? Does it make things easier to disapprove of what you're doing? No, you're just building up negativity. So could you let go disapproving of it? Do it for your sake, so you don't have to feel so heavy. Could you let go disapproving of it some more? And could you let go disapproving of it some more? And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And even more. And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And notice how you feel. Now, could you give this task, this project that you have, some approval? Because positive doesn't hurt anything. Could you give it some approval? And could you give it some more approval? Just because. And could you give it some more approval? And some more. And even more. And even more. and even more. And notice how you feel. See if it feels like it's easier to do this thing. You don't feel so heavy about it. Now, that's a good reason to release. Even if you got to do it, you might as well feel good. And that is up to you. You have total power over how you feel. It's your decision. Now, speaking of which, ultimately, when we're talking about the but system and releasing all those mental I can'ts and releasing the negativity, what you ultimately discover is that everything in life is a decision. It's your decision. So, if it is a particular project that you're doing in your business or your profession, your work, there's an end result, right? Now, all you have to do when you get nice and clear inside is you just decide to have that end result. And you'll be surprised at how fast it happens, because that's all it takes is your decision to have it. Now, it's just our belief and our habits to think that I have to move my body, I have to take this action and all these steps in order for me to reach that end destination. The more you release, the more that stuff just knocks out. You'll see it. And you'll see that final destination, the end result that you're looking for, just collapse and come right in to you. Now, see if that brings up any wanting to figure it out. What does that mean? I don't even understand that. Well, can you see that your mind will never understand that? This is really going way beyond the mind, into realms that the mind can't even conceive of. And can you see how your mind really isn't that helpful? And it's a very negative thing. It's very distrustful. It's into dissatisfaction. It's into I can'ts. Why do you want to listen to that? So could you just let go of your mind for a moment? And could you just surrender yourself to beingness? Put your trust into beingness. Could you allow beingness to take care of things for you? Could you? Even if you haven't really had the experience yet, could you do it anyway? Would it be okay with you if beingness could take care of things for you? So could you just surrender to beingness? And more. And even more. And even more. And notice, it feels nice to surrender to beingness. It doesn't feel so nice to just go round and round with your mind, spinning around with circles, trying to figure things out, trying to do everything mentally, and trying to do everything yourself. It's a lot of work. Could you turn it over to beingness for a moment? And even more. And even more. And even more. And again, notice how you feel. Now, this doesn't mean that you won't take action. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to take action. But as long as you're surrendering to beingness and you're releasing and you're feeling lighter, what's wrong with that? Isn't that going to make things easier? And is it going to also mean a lot less noise and dissatisfaction going on in your mind? And even if you're having to work, who wants to work with all that stuff going on in your head? What if you could just be in the moment? Totally engaged with what you're doing. Wouldn't that be more interesting and lighter and more fun? And you can do that. You know you can. And then the rest of the stuff that we're talking about with the but system, where things just fall in your lap, it's just a matter of doing the work, releasing, and watching what happens. You'll be absolutely amazed. So here is the real pro tip. If you're a big doer, I'm not telling you not to take action. If you're inspired not to, just sit on your rear end and release. It's going to bring up all that stuff. I got to do this, got to do that. And you could release it. That's very, very powerful. So if you feel inspired to do that, by all means, go ahead. You don't have to. So here's the tip. Whatever actions that you take, release first. Just make a decision with yourself, a pact with yourself. Okay, well, I'm going to take the action, but I'm going to release first. I'm just going to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes just releasing, and then I'll take the action and see what happens. See if it's easier. See if it takes less time because I'm not resisting, I'm not figuring things out, right? So that's going to collapse time and make things easier. And then you can release more and you can collapse more and more until you collapse the whole thing. And you're doing the but system like Lester talks about. Now again, it really takes a strong work ethic. This isn't a you get something for nothing sort of a thing. Anyone who comes from that attitude, they're not going to get the results. And those are the people that complain, oh, I'm not getting any gains. Releasing doesn't work. And they give up. They blame Lester, they blame Larry, they blame the method. And then they go off and they try this thing. Well, maybe this expert will have the answer for me. And it's basically a mentality of looking for someone to just tap you on the head and magically fix everything. It doesn't happen that way. You got to do it. And you have the perfect opportunity to do it right now on the 30-day Financial Freedom and Lifestyle Telecourse. We're spending 16 hours a week at minimum, live on the phone, working together. So you can really drop the blinders that are preventing you from seeing just how powerful you are. And the fact that everything is your decision. And by the end of the 30 days, you're going to get so much clearer about your picture and have so much more control over your life. It's really going to make a world of difference. So if you're ready for a big shift, have an easier life, more abundant lifestyle, more money, then click the link below and join us for the 30-day Financial Freedom course. It's always powerful, and this is going to be the most powerful one yet. So don't miss out.